So you tried all these NoFap strategies. You first tried taking cold showers. You tried all these good habits that people keep on talking online. Maybe doing even push-ups before jerking off, or maybe even going outside running under the sun, or filling your loose time with stuff to do so you can't feel bored and go fap. So basically, when you have nothing to do, well, keep on doing something, because the moment that you're going to have nothing to do, you're going to go fat anyway. So basically, you have to pray to have always something to do, because the moment that you're going to have nothing to do, your problem will come back. And even after all these strategies and many more, you're still having this wanting to go and fap. You can't stop this urge. And why is that? It's because it all comes down to your beliefs. Your belief dictates your desire. Right now, your beliefs are that NoFap will help you get through this. You think to yourself that, hey, if I really follow that strategy right now, I will finally get free from fapping. You think that by doing, like I said before, filling up your time so you have nothing else to do, so you technically don't have the time to go and fap, you will finally get away. But the problem is that, as I said before, the moment that you have nothing to do, like, a day will arrive where you already did everything that you could do. Maybe you had a business to start, you already finished the whole business because of the more free time that you had, because you weren't fapping. But now that you finished doing all of what you had to do, you have free time. So now what's going to happen? You will just go back and fap again, because that's what you were doing before. So the problem isn't resolved. You just like push it further. Like you forgot about it, but just for this time. In the future, it will come back. So that's why you keep on relapsing and relapsing and relapsing. And you know what? It's not even your fault, because your beliefs come from content consumption. So basically, what you read is what you will think. I don't know if there's a saying about like you read so you think, or something like that. I don't know. I just made it up probably, but you get what I mean. And where do I want to go with that? If you think that stroking your meat is actually healthy and good for you, as it is right on the internet, because if you search up masturbation on the internet, it's right that it's wrote that it's good for you, and that it will actually help you, make you less stressful and things like that, and there's like a lot of benefits of doing it. But that's not really it, right? Because like you experiment it. You're trying right now to quit this addiction, and by experimenting it, you saw yourself that they might say that there's all these benefits, but they're not really there. Because when you finish masturbating, you're feeling all like down, you have a big bad mood, you're feeling maybe even more stressed, because now you have to go and do it again, and there's a lot of bad benefit, like negative things that come with it. And what's the problem with that is that you want the best for you, right? That's basically like your point. You're trying to improve yourself, and you're trying to become the best version of yourself. So what happens if you go online and see that, oh, it's really good for you to masturbate? Well, like probably anyone, pretty much everyone, you will just think, oh, I want what's best for me, so I'll do what's best for me. And if they say that stroking my meat is best for me, I'll do it. And it's enjoyable, so like it's a win-win. But that's not it. And now you're addicted, and now you're trying to get out of this, and you can't. And you keep on relapsing and relapsing, and you figure out that you can't even get out of this. Even though you're trying your hardest, you getting on like 30 days where you didn't touch it. Well, the 31st day, you're going to get back at it. And that's where you're trying your hardest right now to quit. So it's healthy. And if you think about it, even like children can access that site, the hub. Pretty much everyone can go on it. I know personally people that when I was like 14 or 13, they were going on that site. 13, that's crazy. Like, actually, when I was 13, I was playing with like I was still playing with my cars. And yeah, 13, you're basically like in secondary school, like in Canada. And I was also like playing hockey at that time. And there were people who was on their phone stroking their meat to like naked women and everything. And it's like, what is this mentality? And if it's really like a good thing to do, like if you really think about it, everything that they say online, they say it's good for you and it's a pleasurable activity, but why are you hiding it? Like, if you really think about it, are you going to tell your mom, hey, I'm jerking off to this naked girl online? Like, it's not possible. You wouldn't even think about doing that. Would you go outside with a mindset of telling someone that you're jerking off? Like, it's things that you can't even talk to other person. So if you have to hide it this much, is it really good for you? You have to go in incognito mode on your cell phone, and after you finish jerking off, what are you doing? You're erasing all these tabs so nobody can see that you're doing this. So if it's really like that shameful, why does a lot of people say that it's good for you to jerk off and that you shouldn't be ashamed for that? Isn't that strange? If you think about it, the whole goal of your existence, like if you think about caveman and like ancient times, your instinct tells you to reproduce, like for survivability. Basically, to survive, you have to reproduce. So you have to impregnate a woman. That's the point of like sex and everything. And you're wasting your semen on like some tissue, on in the toilet, on like some socks. Is that really like your point in life? If I come back to what I said before, your beliefs create your desires. That's a curse, but that's also a blessing. Since if you change these same beliefs, you can now get free from this. Because you can now create alternative desires, and with these alternative desires, you will now break free from the hub. But now a question you might think about is, how do you do that? That's pretty easy, actually. You need to answer some question. I will ask you some question. I was at first going to write on a paper with you the question, so like you have more chance of taking this actionable step. But my writing is really bad, so like, please do it if you really want to stop this addiction. This question will need you to be really honest with yourself, because if you're not honest, you won't get any result from doing this. And anyway, you're not telling about anyone else about this question. You're just keeping it for yourself. So you're better like being honest with the first time, like at the start, instead of like lying on the paper and staying in this addiction process. So take a piece of paper, take a pen or a pencil, and prepare yourself to write. First question is, why should I stroke myself to the hub? Ask yourself that question, write it on a piece of paper, and wait for me to ask you all the questions. There's not a lot, there's like 3 or 4. Wait for me to ask all these questions before you start answering them, because you will have to give it a time to really think about it, and it's a really important step if you want to break free from all this. The second question is, what benefits do I find in that? Final question is, what value do I find in the time consumed from stroking my meat? If you didn't like hear the question, just go back in the video. So now's the time where you have to take your time. As I said, be honest with yourself. You can now pause the video. Don't pause the video. Take at least 5 minutes per question. That's really important. You really have to think about it and write everything that comes through your mind about this question. When you finished this 15 minutes exercise, ask yourself this last question. You don't have to write it this time. Just ask yourself, did everything that I write is really true? Like, is that really true? Is that my true answers? For the hardcore person, like the person that really wants to get out of this mess, I have a last question for you. This last question is, what bad things could happen if I choose to not stroke my meat to the hub? Like, what bad things can actually happen to me? And that's how you really quit the hub. All this time, it wasn't needed of a strategy or something you saw online. There was no special strategy that if you take a cold shower, like after doing it, or every time that you wanted to do it, you replaced this time with something else, or you did push-ups on the ground. And like by doing this, eventually you get bored of it. A strategy was never meant and was never the answer. All along, it was only a mindset shift. After almost a year on my NoFap journey, I'm officially free, and it's been quite a time. And I can't believe how many guys are still struggling with NoFap. By the way, if you're still struggling with NoFap, the top link in my description is my sales call. And if you click on that, we'll see if we are a good fit. And I'll literally help you one-on-one get through this, if you can afford my package. That was it for this one. Take care. Mwah!